Let's talk a little bit about Quinn Ewers. Quinn Ewers, if you perhaps have heard his name, he is the quarterback for the South Lake Carroll Dragons. He is considered by many to be the number one quarterback in the number one player in the nation, and maybe at least the number one quarterback in the nation. I haven't checked and seen if he's the number one player in the nation, but he's at least very, very close. He is a super duper elite blue chip prospect committed to Ohio State. Report comes out yesterday from, I believe, Pete Thamel too. Boy, big Pete Thamel story.
Yeah,
today.
his Twitter was probably
big
on
Thamel.
fire
Yeah.
yesterday.
There is a report out from Pete Thamel that Quinn Ewers is considering not playing for South Lake Carroll in 2021 and instead graduating early.
As in, like, tomorrow.
As ASAP, like
before the 3rd.
Before the 3rd, enrolling at Ohio State and being on the Ohio State team in 2021. A large part of this is the idea of that there are reportedly 7-figure NIL offers from him to go and that he can cash in on when he gets to Ohio State. Because NIL, name, image, and likeness, which recently was basically the idea that college football players can profit off of their name, image, and likeness. The first kind of crack in the farce of amateurism. That is not available to Texas high school football players.
Yes.
There is a law that Texas passed their own NIL law before the NCAA, and it specifically prohibits Texas high school football players from profiting off of their name, image, and likeness.
And I think that that's something to really focus on for 2 seconds is the fact that this is not a UIL thing.
No.
The UIL, their hands are tied. At coaching school, they had said they're open to discussions about it, but they can't do anything until it is put into law with the state legislature.
This is a legislature thing.
So,
I know they're both in Austin, but this is the state legislature.
This is actual
not
Texas
what's going on
as a state.
Yeah, not what's going on on Main or Red.
Just wanted to hype on that real fast.
With them. And so this obviously is causing a lot of people to freak out for a number of reasons. Let's start with the bigger picture, which is the freak out of, oh my gosh, is this the end of Texas high school football? Is everybody going to do this? The answer, of course, is always no.
No.
It's not. Everybody chill, okay? Quinn Ewers is in a very specifically strange situation.
Yes.
One, he's like a super elite blue chip prospect, okay? There's only a couple of those, okay? Two, he plays a very valuable position. He plays quarterback. And as a result, this is just the facts of the matter. If he were a 5-star punter, we wouldn't be having this conversation.
At Big 12 Media Days, one of the offensive linemen got asked about NIL, and he was like, I don't know. That's a quarterback, receiver, running back thing.
He is not like he plays a star position. Even if they were like an offensive guard or like Ed Oliver, the defensive lineman, who was a super freak, I don't think he would have these same type of situation. So there's that. And thirdly, everyone's saying that he's considering opting out of the season, and I think that kind of draws comparisons to what Jaden Blue is doing. There's a huge difference there. And here's the huge difference. For Jaden Blue, from what I understand, I don't know his academic background. From what I understand, he can't graduate like right now.
No.
Like he has a senior year of classes.
Yes.
Like every other pretty normal Texas high school football, Texas student.
Yes.
They have a senior year of classes that they have to fulfill in order to be eligible to graduate. Quinn Ewers, from what we understand, has basically one class that he has one class that he has to finish. It's an English class. He has one class that he has to finish, and that would be I'll read from Pete Thamel's piece. Ewers is in position academically where he could take one core English class online, graduate from high school early, and enroll and be eligible at Ohio State for the 2021 season. That is a huge difference from, I think, what people are freaking out about.
Yeah.
You have to be enrolled in college in order to be able to benefit off your NIL. And as a result, Quinn Ewers, for some reason, is he's far enough ahead in his classes that he can take this class, be done, and basically graduate in 3 years.
Yeah, the family said in that piece that he could be done by August 2nd, which is the day before training camp starts, which technically he could then be enrolled in college courses.
And so as a result, that I think is so different. So for everybody who's freaking out about, oh my gosh, is every Texas high school football player, or every good one, going to start opting out to take these NIL deals? This is a very specific set of circumstances that I don't think is necessarily going to be, widespread for a couple of reasons. Now, is this never going to happen again? I think that would be naive to think that. Could we see a dozen players do this next year? Maybe.
Yeah.
That's entirely possible.
Yes.
But we're talking about guys who are there's a very specific set of circumstances, and I don't think what you're going to see is suddenly 500 Texas high school football players say, I'm not playing my senior year, or anything like that. So,
no, and that's the other thing is this isn't a decision that you can just wake up one day and say, oh, you know what, I'm going to enroll in 17 courses over the summer. And the other thing is, too, small schools, they don't offer that.
No.
This is a big school one-time thing.
No. So everybody's freaking out from that perspective. I don't think this is the end of Texas high school football as we know it. Per usual, that's my usual thought. Maybe I'm just the anti-Chicken Little or whatever, but we'll get there.
The sky is not falling.
Here's the other part of it. I think it's reasonable for people to think, what kind of impact would this have on the Texas high school football season in 2021? Perhaps you've seen that we have South Lake Carroll ranked number 3 in our rankings in the 2021 summer edition of Dave Campbell's Texas Football, available now at texasfootball.com/subscribe or at your local store. Perhaps you've seen that. What happens if they don't have Quinn Ewers? I'm not going to lie to you.
Go ahead and shock the world that South Lake Carroll would.
I think that losing maybe the best player in the country would be bad for South Lake Carroll. That's a hot take. Now, that said, they are a lot more than just Quinn Ewers. They have an outstanding receiver core. They have a great offensive line. From what I understand, the quarterback room is pretty loaded. They've got guys that I think could step up and play well, maybe not up to the super elite blue chip level of Quinn Ewers. Here's my initial take on the matter. My initial take would be, because they are in Region 1 of 6A, and because they could go Division 1 or Division 2, we presently project them to go to Division 1 bracket.
Yes.
There are enough good teams that I would remove the team to beat phrase from, or label from them, and put them instead in a group of contenders.
Yes.
With teams like Arlington Martin, with teams like Euless Trinity, things like that. That is basically them going from they're the favorite to they are in a group of favorites.
Yeah, of the 3 or 4 that very well could in that regional
That's
final.
my initial read. Now, that said, Riley Dodge knows 1 or 2 things about quarterbacks. He knows 1 or 2 things about getting guys ready to play. I don't think they're going to fall off a cliff without Quinn Ewers. I think that's a little bit silly. But does that make Region 1 a little bit more interesting and maybe a little bit more wide open? Yeah, I think I don't think there's any doubt about that. Basically what I'm saying is, from a big picture perspective, the sky is not falling. And even if you're a South Lake Carroll fan, I don't think the sky is falling. I think that there's, first of all, we don't know if he's going to go. We just say he's considering it.
You're a perennial factory.
We're just saying that they're considering it. But what we will see is, I think, a Texas high school football Region 1 in 6A that may look a little bit different. I think that's where I'm at on it. So there's Today in Football Freakouts. Hey, thanks for watching this clip here on YouTube. If you like this kind of stuff and you want more of it, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. And remember, you can watch us live every weekday at noon at texasfootball.com, Facebook, Twitch, or here on YouTube. And if you want more of the best coverage of football in the state of Texas, check out texasfootball.com and become a Dave Campbell's Texas Football Insider at texasfootball.com/subscribe.